Stephen Meade again, back with another BullsEye Guy podcast. We're going to talk about crypto and money. There's no such thing as cryptocurrency, and all money's not created equal. I just did a presentation in Malta. It was on the banks and the regulators, and there's all this fuss around what is cryptocurrency and what is digital and what is money. And I had this theory and I laid it out, and it's pretty simple. To begin with, there's no such thing as cryptocurrency. And people go, well, what do you mean? Of course there's. Well, no such thing as cryptocurrency is the same thing almost when I say all money is not created equal. And what do I mean by that? Let's go through a quick little slide here. This is a great representation, something I just did in Malta. Been having some good success with this. And it's a fun little slide where I say all money is not created equal. And when you look, people go, well, what do you mean? Money is money. Well, is it really? We have money. We have what's called cash fiat, right? That cash dollar, the dollar we can hold in our hand. Well, all money's not even created equal. If you look at a dollar versus a yen versus a euro versus a lira versus a peso, even all money's not created equal. Now, it might function similarly, but it doesn't equal out. There's different rates, there's different ratios, there's different ways it settles, different timing. All money is not created equal. Let's take a look at another form of money, your debit card. I hear this a lot. People go, oh, well, Bitcoin's digital money. And I look at them and go, so's your debit card. Well, no, it's not the same. No, it really is. Your debit card is digital money. Now, it may not do the same thing. There's different functionality. We're going to talk about some of that, but digital money is a debit card. You put money in your bank account, whether you deposit money yourself or whether your employer deposits money, which we'll cover in a little bit, the distinctions of what's going to happen. But basically, your debit card is digital money. It's set up for consumers or what's called retail. It's got certain limits of what you can do, and it's pretty easy to walk in a store and swipe it and buy a cup of coffee. But money is money, but that's digital money. Next, SWIFT, Fedwire, ACH. You can send $100 through the debit network. You can send $1,000. You could probably send $25,000 or $50,000. You can't send $5 million. If you're trying to do wire transfers, if you're trying to send $25,000 or $50,000, almost all of you probably had to go to the bank and fill out a wire transfer form. You're transferring money. SWIFT, Fedwire, ACH. Again, it's money. It's digital money, but it's digital money through a different railway. Let's think about that for a minute. Imagine you've got a box of coal, and you've got one set of rails that are really old, that are old and small and rickety, and you can only fit so much coal on that railway. And it's got limitations in height because it goes through tunnels. Well, that might be the debit network. Certain limitations, certain speed. SWIFT, Fedwire, ACH might still be slow, but it doesn't go through tunnels. You can do 10, 25, 50, 100. Bank settlement overnight. Fedwire, banks settle hundreds of millions of dollars using Fedwire. It's still money. It's still digital, but it doesn't function the same. Let's look at this. Starbucks gift card. I love this one. Is Starbucks a bank? People go, well, no. Well, if I give Starbucks $100 for the privilege of using a gift card, Starbucks takes my money. They do whatever they want with it. Not even like a bank. If I put $100 in the bank for my debit card, the bank has restrictions on what they can do with that money and where it's collateralized. I give money to Starbucks. Starbucks is technically a big bank without the regulations of a bank. That's going to be important in a little bit. So a gift card, I buy the gift card, give Starbucks money. They give me credits, points, value that's in a closed network, and I can only spend that at Starbucks. It's technically in the financial world, it's called a closed loop or a closed network. But a gift card is in a network. Is it currency? Depends. It's a type of payment. Let's look at another one, gold. Is gold a currency? No, it's an asset. It could be used as a form of payment. If I had a $50 gold coin, I could go up and down the street and somebody might take it for payment, but it's a little difficult for currency, but it is a form of asset and it can be used as payment. Currency is a little bit different. How about this one? Stocks. Are stocks currencies? Not so much. Stocks are stocks. They're assets. But even in stocks, all stocks aren't created equal. You've got the New York Stock Exchange, big, Ford, Walmart, big companies, Coca-Cola that we've all heard of. Little fluctuations, long-term, big companies. Then you've got NASDAQ, little further down, risk a little higher, bunch of technology companies. Some of them you've heard of, and a bunch of them in NASDAQ you haven't heard of. The subcontractors, the silicone, but that's the NASDAQ. And then you've got the penny stocks. Oh, those dreaded penny stocks. Some people love penny stocks. It's easier for a penny stock to go from 10 cents to $1 than it is for a big company like Amazon to go from 3,000 to 30,000. But the risk is higher. And even on the OTC, the over-the-counter pennies, you have regular OTC penny stocks. Then you've got what are called pink sheets, which are even more risky and have less financial audits and less ways to do due diligence. And below that, you've even got grays, but you have different types of risk on stocks. Are they currencies? No, they're stocks. But it's an important distinction. Let's look at real estate. Same thing. You could buy real estate. Takes a lot of money. If you're buying a big building, some real estate companies have even gone public. Whether it's a REIT, a real estate investment trust, or a big real estate company could go public using stocks if they wanted to. And then up here, we've got art and collectibles. Is art and collectibles, are art and collectibles currency? They're an asset. Hopefully they go up. They're kind of a store of value, and they could be used as payment if somebody's willing to take it as payment, or you probably have to sell the art, find a buyer, get your money, and go buy something else. There's conversion. Why is this important? Well, let's take a look at crypto. People go, oh, everything's a cryptocurrency. No, everything's not cryptocurrency, just like everything's not money. All money's not created equal. I don't believe all cryptocurrency is equal either, especially the people that go, oh, Bitcoin's the apex predator. It beats out everybody else. I'm going to show you in a minute why that makes absolutely no sense. But to me, cryptocurrencies are technically digital assets. I think personally, 5 years from now, there will be no such thing as a cryptocurrency. People look at me and go, that's crazy. And I say, really? Name for me an internet company. And people kind of laugh. You know, name an internet company. Google. Google's a search engine. Netflix is video distribution. Amazon, it's a marketplace. What's the point? The internet is an enabling technology. In the early days of the internet, people could be an internet company. And there was a big conference called Internet World. There's no such thing as Internet World. There's no such thing as an internet company. Just like I don't think there'll be any such thing as a blockchain company. Most of the companies that are, quote, blockchain are game companies or something else. And you'll see where that overlays. I don't believe anything's going to be a cryptocurrency because I think they're all going to be some form of digital asset. Here's what I mean. Let's look at cryptocurrency. There's really no equivalent to physical money in the crypto world. You could actually buy a physical Bitcoin and have a code on it. You can buy a watch like Hublot's coming out with a Bitcoin watch, but it's really just a QR code. Let's look at digital. Well, those are what are called stable coins. There's all kinds of stable coins out there. And how do they operate? They operate like a debit card. It's not complicated. You've got USDT Tether. How do you get Tether? You buy it. Put $1,000 into a network or an exchange and you buy your Tether. How do you get a debit card? You put $1,000 in your bank account and you have $1,000 debit card. The similarities are there. A stable coin is technically like debit, can be used in a network, can be used for payment, but you buy it. Where does this get a little tricky and scary? Debit cards aren't programmable money. Stable coins are actually programmable. I think there's a lot of great things with the blockchain industry. I think there's a lot of cool things coming. I think this concept of stable coins could get a little bit dangerous if we see what just happened in Canada, where Canada is threatening to shut off money and confiscate bank accounts. If a stable coin's programmable, and as an example, you get free healthcare, and the healthcare company looks at you and says, "Oh, we think you're overweight. We're going to shut off your ability to buy more than 1 6-pack of Diet Coke, or you can't smoke anymore. You can't buy cigarettes because your money's been turned off." And people go, "Oh, I'll just go buy Bitcoin. I'll go buy crypto." Really? If the government, these are ifs, the government mandates that your paycheck has to be direct deposit. Most of you probably already get direct deposit. Most of you don't have a check anymore. You don't pick up your check on Friday and run to the bank and deposit it. If your money's already deposited in the bank electronically and that money becomes a stable coin digitally, that programmable money falls under government control. I love blockchain, I love crypto, but there are some frightening things that we have to, as an industry, protect and be prepared for, and programmable money is one of them. Let's look at this one, central digital banknotes. This comes out a lot. People go, "Oh, China's going to do their own currency." Well, a lot of the countries are going to do their own central digital banknotes. Why? Because it's more efficient. Blockchain is going to be a faster railway system. It's going to be more efficient to move money through. It's more efficient than the old railway. Does that mean everybody's going to go on cryptocurrency? Again, central digital banknotes are like Swift and Fedwire. That's different than stable coins. So I think there's going to be some distinctions where the banks will have a stable coin, the country will have a stable coin, but they'll still have a central digital note that is equal to $1 or their currency that'll convert through a swap or atomic swap to other governments that also have their own central digital banknote, and it'll act like currencies floating against the value of their currency. That's where I think it's going. Starbucks card, why is this one important? Tokens, crypto tokens also are utilities. This is important when banks go, "Oh, we're going to regulate cryptocurrency." Banks don't regulate a Starbucks gift card. Why are banks trying to regulate cryptocurrency? Because somebody called it a currency. The problem with our industry, and I say ours in blockchain, we've named things because we thought it was cool, and we called things cryptocurrencies because we thought it's cool as a currency. And now we're being evaluated as a currency, which is exactly what we don't want to be evaluated by. So we need to look at different terminology for distinctions. Utility tokens have a function in a network, just like a gift card. You shouldn't be regulated. Now, it gets tricky because that token could go up and down in value. It could appreciate. But again, banks don't regulate stocks. If we think of most cryptocurrencies more like this, a Bitcoin is like gold. To me, that one's simple. Most cryptocurrency or crypto tokens to me are glorified penny stocks. You buy it at 10 cents because you want to sell it at $1. Some might have equity. Some might have a business model. Some might be early. Some are far enough along. If you look at it like the stock market, the New York Stock Exchange, low risk. We've got big, huge assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, NASDAQ are middle risk. Penny stocks are a bunch of pre-sales and early tokens. And some of those tokens might be in a network like a gift card. Others might operate like a stock. They might have a dividend or equity, or they might just be an appreciation token that just trades on supply and demand. Now, I think these will be regulated more like stocks and digital assets. I think they'll be taxed like a stock or a digital asset. But I also think in the end, there are going to be cryptocurrencies. I had this conversation with John Najarian, brilliant guy. I've known John for years. And the question was, will the stock market or the crypto market one day be bigger? Will the cryptocurrency market be bigger than the stock market? And I said, that question makes no sense to me because at the end of the day, they're both going to be the same. I think all stocks will eventually be digital assets. They have to be. Digital assets, blockchain, the enabler, makes stocks more transparent, more efficient, easier to transfer. can be divisible in a multitude of numbers and decimals that you can't do in the traditional stock market. I think in the future, that could be a year from now, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 weeks, who knows? All digital assets, all stocks will be digital assets, and a cryptocurrency will no longer be a cryptocurrency, it'll be a digital asset. Now, where will it fall within the type of digital asset? That becomes a question. Will it be a digital asset that acts as a utility, like in a gift market, like in a Starbucks? Will it be something that has a function like real estate, where you tokenize a security of real estate, and instead of going public using traditional stock, you tokenize that building, tie the revenue, the rent, the appreciation, that token, that digital asset can become a security, but it's a better value for the investor. Digital assets will become more transparent, more auditable, more able to control. You can have voting mechanisms in a digital community that you can't have in traditional stock, especially the lower risk, the penny stocks, the over-the-counter, the OTC, the TSX Toronto, the ASX, the Australian. These are pretty wicked stock markets. The appreciation can be manipulated with press releases and personality and promotions and things going up and down. Very complicated, very easy, but it's also prone to, I won't call it fraud, but it's prone to a lot of manipulation. In the over-the-counter, these companies can issue new stock, they can hide stock, they can have things in island trading with free trading shares that people are selling. In a digital blockchain audit world with community guidance and community oversight, it's going to be a different world. I don't think there's any such thing as a cryptocurrency. I think they're digital assets and they perform different functions just like money. What's the new one? The darling? NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Again, mostly on art and collectibles and music. But at the end of the day, non-fungible is technically just an asset on a smart contract that is either a glorified certificate of authentication or it's going to have rule sets. Meaning where I think the world should go for musicians, rather than trying to sell an NFT, which again, I shouldn't say that. One of the top EDM DJs made more money on an NFT than he's made in 10 years of music. I think that's an anomaly. I think it'll change. But the cool part is you could take a piece of digital music that you sell, and if somebody wants to share it, digital piracy has always been a problem. You could wrap a smart contract on a digital asset that says, hey, you can share this music, but if you share it with a friend, that friend doesn't have to buy the music. They have to maybe register to a fan club. And if that person now registers to a fan club, the musician has a direct link to their fans to sell more material, to sell more art items, to sell more music. Same thing with movies. I think movies will start using NFTs not to try and sell one-off posters or to do a fake matrix like Warner Brothers did. I think it'll be ways to creatively build your community to market other items to. What does this mean? Blockchain is the enabler of all of these. Again, this is where I say people aren't really a blockchain company. They might be a utility company or a crypto token or a tokenized security or an NFT. Blockchain is the great enabler. Early days still, there's all kinds of different chains. Ethereum is a platform where Bitcoin is really an asset. Ethereum's a platform you can build on top of, kind of like a first generation iPhone. Allows you to create cool apps on the phone. There's dApps, digital apps on Ethereum. BSC, the Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Stellar, multi-chain graphene. There's all kinds of different blockchains that are trying to be built, and each one's trying to be better, faster, cheaper than the other ones. Nothing wrong with that. That's the advancement of technology. Even in the early days of the internet, there were different protocols. When I started, there wasn't even e-commerce. There was no security. There was no SSL or SET. There was a bunch of competing security protocols, and eventually one of them won. I don't think there'll be one winner. I think there's going to be different blockchains that perform different functions, not only in this network. This is just money. Outside of money, there's all kinds of things with blockchain for security, supply chain, contracts, really amazing stuff. Stable coins, a bunch of them are out there, Tether, Tron, even Ripple. Ripple's not technically a stable coin in the sense that you buy it, but Ripple's a stable coin more in the central digital bank side. Ripple's more for bank settlement, where Tether and Tron and these other stable coins are more retail. So I think banks are going to have stable coins. I think countries will have central digital bank notes. I think some big banks will. This is all digital settlement. Exchanges, just like you've got stock exchanges, crypto exchanges are fascinating. In the world in the US, if you're on an OTC, over the counter, what's called a penny stock, it's usually sub $1. Most companies on the OTC are trying to, quote, uplist. They want to get up above $4. I think it's 40 million in assets. They're trying to, quote, uplist to NASDAQ. Why do they want to be on NASDAQ? Institutional money, big money can come in on the NASDAQ level. A lot of institutions and hedge funds can't invest in sub $1 penny stocks. It's too risky. It doesn't fit their profile. It's okay. In the crypto world, it's fascinating. You can start out on a small exchange, a small regional exchange, kind of like we've done with Centurion, and you can build some liquidity. And if you want to upsell, you could say, hey, I've got a big audience in Korea. I want to go OKX. I've got an audience in Europe. I want to go ZBX, Malta. I want to penetrate into China. You can actually upsell to multiple crypto exchanges. You can get global liquidity in the crypto market that you cannot get in a traditional stock market. Fascinating opportunity. Everything's going to be digital, but all these exchanges are out there. They can be regional, they can be global. Some are just NFTs. Some of the marketplace coming out now, OpenSea's Everscale, which is a great one, Nifty. These are marketplaces just for NFTs, just like there's exchanges just for stock. There's certain exchanges that only do over the counter. Some only do NASDAQ. Some only do New York Stock Exchange. Some are Toronto. Some are Nikkei. Like they're exchanges around the world. Crypto, with a token, with a digital asset, you can list on multiple exchanges, multi-jurisdictional. You can't do that easily with traditional stocks. That's why I think everything, there is not going to be a cryptocurrency. I think there's no such thing. All crypto's not created equal. I think at the end, there's going to be digital assets, digital tokens, utility tokens, NFTs, stable coins. The distinctions and the bifurcations are going to come, and this industry will be better off for it. The distinctions are going to help. All money's not created equal. All crypto's not created equal. There's no such thing as a blockchain company. Figure out where you are. So, Steve and me, this one was a little bit longer. I may just turn it into a podcast rather than a short cast. I think it's long enough. But Steve and me, the Bullseye Guy, tuning out. We'll catch up again soon.